We're going to talk today about adding integers. So again, still in Unit 1, more color coding purple. Okay, there are three ways to think about adding integers. The first way is the colored counters method. Okay, positive integers are represented by clear counters, and negative integers are represented by shaded counters. In this particular example, my little side note here, usually they provide you with a key. So if you get this kind of thing on a test question, you should always check the key provided. Okay, and we'll see some more of that later on, but sometimes they reverse this. Your SOL might reverse this. They might make positive integers shaded and negative integers clear. So again, you always need to check that key. To add integers, first draw the first integer, then draw the second integer. Finally, cancel any 0 pairs, because a positive 1 plus a negative 1 is 0, and we report your answer. So those are the steps in words for two colored counters. I think it'll make a little bit more sense when you see an example. Okay, so negative 10 plus 4. In these examples, negative integers are represented by shaded counters. So I take that first integer that I see, negative 10, I'm going to draw negative 10 little circles, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that represents negative 10. And then I see a positive 4. So I'm going to draw 4, and I like to line them up right underneath. There's my positive 4. A negative and a positive cancel out. So we can cancel out. These are called 0 pairs every time you cancel out. So we have the 0 pairs are canceled. They go away. They cancel out. And this is what I am left with. So I count what I have left. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counters left, 6 little pictures, 6 little circles. They're shaded in, so that means they're negative. So it's a negative 6 as my final answer. Okay, that's the first method. Second method is the number line method. So we can draw a number line in order to model this. So it says draw an arrow from 0 to the first integer, then starting at the point of the first arrow, draw a second arrow the length of the second integer. And that keyword is the length of the second integer. Alright, so let's think about 15 plus negative 5. So I'm going to draw my number line. I'm going to put 0. And my first arrow has to start at 0 and it has to go all the way to 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So here's 15. So that arrow needs to go all the way to 15. So my first arrow, again, starting at 0, length of the first integer goes all the way to 15, plus a negative 5. So we're starting at the point of the first integer, and this is a negative 5. So I need an arrow that has a length of negative 5. So negative means go to the left. So we're going to go left, and it has to be 5 units long. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units long. So my length is 5 units, and I'm going backwards since it's negative. And my answer is the number where I end up. So for this particular example, I ended at 10. So my answer is 10. Alright, moving on. The third way to add integers is with the integer addition rule. When adding integers with the same sign, so they're either both positive or they're both negative, same signs, add the numbers and keep the sign they share. when adding integers with opposite signs, we're actually going to subtract the integers and keep the sign of the integer with the larger absolute value. Alright, so let's look at this first one. 20 plus 19. These guys are both positive numbers, so we have two positives. Signs are the same. So when signs are the same, we're going to add 20 plus 19, gives us 39, and we keep the positive sign because they shared that positive sign. So my answer is positive 39. Right? Second example, I have a negative and a negative. So I have two negative signs. It's the same. Signs are the same. So we're going to add 8 plus 18, which gives us 26. And we're going to keep the sign they share, which is negative. So my answer is negative 26. Okay, if I look at this example, I have a positive number and a negative number, so positive and negative. Okay, the signs are opposite. So I'm actually going to subtract. 15 minus 6 is 9. And then I'm going to keep the sign of the number with the larger absolute value. So the absolute value of 15 is 15. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6. So the larger number, larger absolute value is 15. 15 is greater than 6. So I'm keeping the positive. So my answer is 9. Alright, last example, I have a negative number and a positive number. Signs are opposite. So again, I'm going to subtract 10 minus 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. And I compare my absolute values. Absolute value of negative 10 is 10. Absolute value of 6 is 6. Larger absolute value is right here, and the sign it had was negative. So I'm keeping the negative sign. So my answer is 4 with the negative sign. So adding integers is going to take a little bit of practice. We're going to do this for a couple of days, but hopefully this gives you a good start. All right, have a good evening, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.